Hello everybody, this is Rays United and good morning to you. Yes, so this is the morning after the night before. We lost our game last night, 3-2, and that wasn't great. The playing wasn't great. The players were not really that motivated, in my opinion. And as you can see, my caption states that sack Gunnar Solskjaer and keep Pogba. Now, I am just laying it straight and putting it out there. I am not in favor of Solskjaer being sacked, and I'm not in favor of Pogba being kept or sold. All I want is everything to be sorted out. So I'm going to lay it down straight for you lot. In this very segment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ensure that we talk about all the managerial appointments we've had since Fergie left. We talk about all the players we've signed since Fergie left. We talk about briefly about the bloody board, Manchester United's board. And then we'll talk about the present state of the club. So, like I said, we're going to talk about these things. And then you can give your opinion on what you think should be done to help the club run properly. In the past few years, we've bought how many players? How many managers? We've hired 4 managers, and in this period, we hired David Moyes immediately after Ferguson left. We hired Van Gaal after him. So we've had David Moyes between 2013 and 2014. We've had Van Gaal between 2014 and 2016. We've had Mourinho between 2016 and 2018, and we have Solskjaer since 2018. Now, we've gone through all of these within, the past 7 years, which is ridiculous because Ferguson stayed there for what, 26 odd years. And there were times when things were very, very difficult. But Ferguson, they stuck to him. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't see why going through managers would be the solution to our problems, because we've been there on 4 different occasions and the problems remain the same. You understand? We've bought so many players, and even before we continue, I'll list all the players that we've bought within the past 7 years, and you would tell me if buying the players were actually the solution to Man United's problems. Because I can tell you that right now, Man United's foundation is set. Grassroots is set. We've got very good youngsters who, if given the chance, would flourish more than the players we've been buying who have no passion for the club. Understand? However, I don't blame players at the moment. Like I told you, the foundation is set. If you have a building and the foundation is strong, what you do is whatever you build on top of it has to complement the foundation. Otherwise, it would implode. It would just collapse. And if it collapses on top of the foundation. And when it collapses on top of the foundation gets swallowed in. You understand? So what I need you to do is just have a think. If the manager is the problem, or certain players are the problem, such as Pogba, or, like I'll talk about later on this show, the board is the problem. So we will see. Now, first of all, before we continue, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, so it can help the channel grow, as well as smash the notification button and share this content. That will help the channel grow as well. Thank you. So now we're going to continue very soon. So let's deal with the managerial purchases since they came in, the players they bought. So when they came in, the first manager we acquired was who? David Moyes. Now, when David Moyes came in, the first player he bought for £27.5 million was Marouane Fellaini. Now, we were excited at the time because obviously he was killing it at Everton. So we thought, well, he's going to do it. We weren't really that happy, but we made do with it. And then in January, the next transfer window, we bought Juan Mata for £37.1 million. Now, at the time, obviously, he was killing at Chelsea. He was their superstar. He was the top player there. So acquiring him was a good thing. But I think over the past years, 7 years or so, he's done relatively well for the club. at times you always feel like his legs are gone, but Mata, I would say, has held his own for the club. He wouldn't be catapulted to legendary status, but he will be there as one of the very best players we've had. Under Herrera, he was Louis van Gaal's first purchase. We bought him for £29 million. And I would say Herrera was very good. He's got grit, and he's a very, very, very good player. I like him a lot. He works hard. I remember one game against Chelsea where he just marked Chelsea out of the game. Sorry, he marked Hazard out of the game. And, you know, Hazard used to be like the top player of Chelsea. And if Hazard wasn't on his game, Chelsea wouldn't play well. So we knew. And so Mourinho ensured that he would mark Hazard and took him out of the game. And as a result, we won the game at Old Trafford. So yes, he was Van Gaal's first signing. And then he bought Luke Shaw for £31 million. At the time, Luke Shaw was about 18 years old. He was like the next best left back in England. Unfortunately, a game against PSV in Holland, he broke his leg, and since then it's never been the same again. We see flashes of his talent, but he's never been the same again. And the next player Van Gaal bought was Marcos Rojo for £16 million. Now, Rojo initially was good, but he's got this feistiness about him. He's very indisciplined. So because of that, he can't really, his defending is always shaky. You always think he's going to give a penalty or a foul, a dangerous foul away. So because of that, he's not really been a success at Old Trafford. And then we bought, well, controversially, Angel Di Maria at the time was the most expensive player we've ever bought. We bought him for £59.7 million from Real Madrid at the time. And it felt as though he didn't want to come, but he didn't have a choice. So he came. And when he came, he was doing great. And his house got burgled, his wife was stunned. And I think as a result, he never really enjoyed football in Manchester anymore. So he opted to leave the following season, the next season. So we sold him. And that's when he was wearing the number 7 shirt then, the curse of the number 7, as they say, since Ronaldo left. And so he left. And, you know, as time goes on, I'm going to tell you who replaced him. So Daley Blind was also bought for £13.8 million from Ajax. He did steadily well. I wouldn't say anything bad about him. And then we bought Radamel Falcao. Sorry, we got him on loan for £6 million a year. The plan was to keep him for two seasons. Unfortunately, he was a flop, so he went to Chelsea and he was a flop there as well. And then we got Victor Valdez from Barcelona on a free. He played a few games, but because of the Gears form, he didn't really get any real match time. And then obviously we got still Van Gaal's purchase. We got Memphis Depay for £26.3 million. He did okay. He took over the number 7 shirt, but he wasn't really. He didn't do anything special or spectacular. So he was eventually sold to Lyon by Mourinho. So, obviously, Matteo Darmian was also bought by Van Gaal for £12.7 million. He was an average player. Morgan Schneiderlin was also bought for £25 million. He was okay, but when Mourinho came, Mourinho didn't really find him anything special, so he sold him to Everton. Bastian Schweinsteiger was already done with his career, so when he came in for £6.8 million from Bayern Munich, he had flashes, but nothing was great, really. He was just done. And then we got Sergio Romero on a free. That was one of Van Gaal's signing as well. He's been the backup for Van Gaal, for De Gea, and he's been great, to be honest. We also got Anthony Martial for £58 million. He scored on his debut against Liverpool. We won 3-1. That was a very good solo goal. Eric Bailly, that was Mourinho's first purchase. £30 million. Initially, he was great. Then injuries set in, and obviously since then, it's not looked back with injuries. He's always been injured. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, we got him on a free. We got him on a free, and he was special. The guy, his charisma just oozed on everyone. I mean, he's infectious. He's motivating. He's a leader. He's somebody that he's arrogant, and he shows on the pitch. He's very, very good, and he's strong as well. So Age wasn't on his side, but I would say he was a success at Man United. And then we bought Henrik Mkhitaryan for 26.3 million pounds from Borussia Dortmund. Initially, it was great. He scored a spectacular goal, the Scorpion goal. Unfortunately, he didn't really flourish. So there was a swap deal with Arsenal for Sanchez. So he went the other way, and Sanchez came to Man United. And then Mourinho bought Pogba, Manchester United's most expensive buy, £89 million. So we brought him back. Pogba was great. We won the Europa League. We won the League Cup the following season. We won the Community Shield. So we were doing great. And Mourinho somehow fell out with him, and that will be another day's story. Victor Lindelof was bought for £39 million from Benfica. He's been steady. Nothing special. We bought Romelu Lukaku for £90 million. He was steady. He was good. He scored goals. Unfortunately, things didn't go really well for him, so he left and went to Inter Milan. Nemanja Matic from Chelsea for £40 million. He's been great. I don't have anything to talk about, anything negative to talk about when it comes to him. Alexis Sanchez, the swap deal. Now, this is the most disastrous transfer I've ever seen in my life. This guy couldn't score a goal. He couldn't buy a goal. He was crap. I mean, that swap deal was the worst deal I've ever seen. We stopped Man City from buying him. He came in because of money. He was the most expensive, the highest paid player, and performed shit. So there was nothing great about the signing, nothing great about the player at Manchester United. He's gone to Inter Milan. I don't even watch them games, so I don't know how he's doing there. And then we bought Diogo Dalot, steady, nothing special. We bought Fred for 52 million. No, Fred has been good. He's been good. Nothing spectacular, but on his day, he's very, very good. I like him a lot. That was one of, I think, Mourinho's buys. And then 1.5 million pounds we used to buy Lee Grant. So those are the end of Mourinho's buys. Now we go to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's buys. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't buy anybody during his first season because it was half a season, so he didn't have enough time for the transfer window, the January transfer window. So once we set into the off-season transfer window, his first purchase was Daniel James for 15 million from Swansea. And Daniel James, I would say the first few games performed well, scored on his debut against Chelsea, and he was good until he just faded away. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 50 million from Crystal Palace. He's performed steadily until recently. I mean, he goes with the flow of Man United. If we're not playing well, he definitely contributes to the disastrous display we show on the pitch. Harry Maguire, now this is controversial. He was bought for 80 million, 5 million more than Van Dijk, and we know what the story is. Van Dijk is one of the best defenders I've ever seen, besides Vidic and Ferdinand. And Maguire's also got the world record fee for a defender. So you can imagine the pressure on him, and Solskjaer's made him captain as well. So that's hard on him. I feel like he shouldn't have been made captain, because the price tag alone is a lot of pressure on him, and then you've got him as the captain, so it's not really helped him. And then the next, so these are probably the buys that he's had. Obviously, he's bought a few on loan. He bought what's his name, the Nigerian player, Odion Igalo, on loan. So because of COVID, we extended his loan till January. He's not been getting any game time at the moment. He was okay here and there, flashes of his talent, his ability, but he's not really been great. And obviously, Bruno Fernandes has been excellent. Bruno Fernandes probably is the best Man United buy since Ferguson left. The guy's so influential. The guy's a leader. He's been playing his socks off. I like players like that, you know. And so we've bought him, and these are Solskjaer's buy. You know, Solskjaer's bought a few players who've been good. You know, he's bought who else has he bought? Cavani, Edison Cavani as well. Edison Cavani has done very well. Alex Telles has done very, very well. And so all these players that he's bought, they've done well. So what are the problems based on the fact that we've bought so many players and still, since Ferguson left, and we still haven't done anything? So are you going to blame on the fact that, oh, the board haven't really supported our managers? They have. They have supported the managers. So we can't blame the board. In this situation, we can't blame them. But now I'm going to the next bit. the board. So the board, what are we going to talk about? What is there to talk about? Well, like I told you from the beginning of this segment, I said, we need to look at the foundation. And Manchester United's foundation has been good. We produce younger players. The players are breaking through to the first team. So it's been great. When you look at players that we've brought into the first team, we've brought Scott McTominay, we've brought Greenwood, we've brought Brandon Williams, we've brought Timothy Fosu-Mensah, we've brought Tuanzebe. So all these players, Rashford, all these players are great. Even our goalkeeper Henderson. So we've brought players into the first team. So foundation is great, you know. Even the team, when you look at it, our players individually are very good. Well, tactics I can say are not that great at the moment, but I wouldn't really blame Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for that because he's doing well. I would say he's done as well as Mourinho has, if he's not better. You know, so I would personally lay the blame, that's my personal opinion, on the board. I would say the problem is starting from the top. All the problems Man United is having is starting from the top. Because when they get the managers initially, they help them. They would give them money to buy players. And then as time goes on, they wouldn't actually support them when they need certain players. Look at Haaland's situation. We could have bought Haaland during the January transfer. Solskjaer coached him in Malta. The boy was a teenager. He still is a teenager, but he was a very young boy. And he could have brought him from Salzburg to Manchester United in January 2020, and we didn't give him the money. He wasn't given the backing to get the boy, and he eventually went to Borussia Dortmund. Look at how he's killing it over there. You know, we've had other players that we could have bought, but we weren't given the finances to get them. You know, so that's one problem I've got with the board. The second problem I've got with them is they want to exert so much power on the managers they buy. Now, when you buy managers, you said they're managers, they're not coaches. Managers mean that they are supposed to run everything that relates to football. So from purchases to academies and everything, they have to run that. They have to oversee that. If you don't give them the opportunity to do that, you're undermining their position. You understand what I'm saying? So what's happened with Man United at the moment is when Ferguson was there, he had the full backing and he had the power behind him because he had David Gill, who was more or less director of football, even though the position wasn't stating that. But he acted as that because he worked cohesively with Ferguson. So it was easy. They had this working relationship. It was a very fluid relationship. But Ferguson wanted something, but when the Glazers came in, they wanted to make money. So they bought the club on credit or in debt. You understand? So they don't spend anything on Man United. They take money out of Man United. They take dividends and everything at the end of every financial year. So Man United will always be in the red. We don't know when Man United will get out of the red into the black. You know what I'm saying? So we've had problems. And they always hire the board. The Glazers always hire somebody that they can control. Somebody that is not a football person. Somebody that's a financial person. And then who comes in? Ed Woodward. After David Gill left, we've got Ed Woodward. Now, Ed Woodward is a financier. He's not a football man. So all he does is money, money, money. How much dividend are we going to get? How much net profit are we going to get at the end of the financial year? That's all he thinks about. So he has to balance the books. They're not thinking about the progress on the pitch. As long as revenue is coming in, they're happy. Do you know what I'm saying? So they're not thinking ahead. You know, I don't want to talk about any club. I always use Manchester City as an example. Our nearby neighbours, our rivals, who we're going to play this weekend. And they've managed their club so well. They've got director of football, and then they've got the manager. So when the manager wants a certain player, he gets them. Because he identifies the players. The scouts are there to identify the players. He accepts that, okay, I want this player, I want that player. And he's giving the funds because he's got director of football who knows football. So he gets the players he wants. Mourinho is killing it at Tottenham. Are you going to blame Mourinho? I mean, we blamed him for Manchester United's predicaments when he was there. But now looking back, in retrospect, it wasn't his fault. He laid down the problems after he left on beIN Sport and said that, look, if you don't have structure in any institution, it crumbles. And that's what's happening to Man United. It's imploding. It's imploding. But then everyone is seeing the problem apart from the board. You know what I'm saying? So the board needs to change their ways. If they don't do that, Man United will plunge into the abyss and we will never be found anymore. I'm telling you this. Manchester United will plunge into the abyss and they will disappear if the board does nothing. So what my suggestion will be, which nobody's going to listen to, but I know that you lot are going to look at it, and also it will spark some opinions from you. So we can share this. Let's share this, because this is very important. We need our club. Even if you don't support Man United and you're a rival fan, you know that you need competition in order to flourish. And if you don't have Man United as a competition, then the league's quality diminishes. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let's all share this content and ensure that our club or your rival club, Manchester United, doesn't disappear from the face of the earth. It won't. I'm not saying it would. But what I'm saying is the power, the influence that it has in world football will diminish. And that's not what we all need, including rival fans and clubs. We don't need that. So let's share this content and ensure that it goes viral. It goes viral. If it goes viral, it could help ensure that these Glazers, because all the other Man United channels are saying this, that the Glazers and the board are the problem. And we all know that. Come on, I've supported Manchester United for how many years now? 26 years, since 1994. So I know the club. Do you understand? I know the club. So let's ensure that this whole board problem is solved. They need to appoint a director of football as early as possible. If they don't do that, the club will plunge into the abyss. And we don't need that. So that's one of my opinions. And finally, the state of the club at the moment is what I want to talk about. The state of the club, I would say financially, we're sound. We're very sound financially. We've been very sound for a long time. The profits, I mean, might not be as high as it was a year before because of COVID, but everybody's in the same boat anyway, so that's not a problem. Financially, the club is sound. Foundationally, the club is sound. Now, the top is where the problem is. And when I say the top, I mean board level. Not on the pitch. On the pitch, you can't blame that because it's fueling down to the pitch. The problems on the board is fueling down to the pitch. Trust me. If you work in a place and your management team is not great, it's going to affect every single member of staff in that organization. And that's what's happening at Manchester United. So I don't want to blame the players. People can talk about Pogba and talk about Solskjaer, the manager, and talk about Luke Shaw, talk about David De Gea, talk about Harry Maguire, talk about Lindelof, Bailly, talk about all the other players. I wouldn't blame any of them because I can see that they're trying their best, but the problems at the top is fueling down to them. That's why I believe we're in the mess we're in. So we can solve this by ensuring that the board listen to the fans. That's all I'm going to say. Now, please, finally, try and subscribe to my channel and share the content that I've just posted. Like it as well. And then click on the notification button. So anytime I post content, you can receive them as well. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye-bye.